What do you
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
We did how many rounds? We probably did at least 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too.
Yeah.
Good. You're not in bad shape.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach are officially set for August 18th, with the two squaring off once again. But this time, Tank has made it clear that he's coming for the win. The stakes for this rematch couldn't be higher, and it's not just about pride or belts. What's really got the boxing world buzzing is how Davis has been acting since their first meeting. On March 1st, that fight ended in a majority draw, a result that shook Tank's aura of invincibility.
Was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it's corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say.
It was expected to be another routine demolition, just another name added to his list of knockouts. But Roach didn't play that part. Instead, he matched Tank's energy, absorbed his power, and exposed the weaknesses in his game that had been hidden by a streak of one-sided wins. This isn't just talk. Richardson Hitchens, a close friend and training partner of Davis, recently gave a blunt view on Tank's mindset going into the rematch. "I tell Tank behind closed doors if he doesn't focus up, it can go left for him," Hitchens said in a recent interview. But Tank's a real competitor. He's scared to lose. "I think that night woke him up. Like a man, this can really go left at any given moment."
On his A game, it could go left for him.
I mean, yeah, I'll tell Tank that, behind closed doors, if he don't focus up, it can go left for him. But Tank is a true competitor. Tank is a guy that he's scared to lose. So I think
that's a rare admission from someone inside the Davis camp, a clear sign that the confidence Tank shows the public might not match what's going on behind closed doors. Hitchens also noted that Davis has been cutting out distractions, staying off the internet, and working hard in the gym. That's the kind of effort you expect from a fighter who knows he narrowly avoided a major setback.
Now, he's trying to please the fans possibly and take this fight versus Lamont Roach in a rematch. Is it even worth it to please the fans who are going to love you one minute, hate you the next? They're going to love him this minute, they're going to hate him next. Next minute, I don't like it. He can fight Lamont Roach, and they're going to say, well, he's supposed to knock Lamont out if he does win. Or if he loses to Lamont, they're going to say, oh, we knew Lamont was better. It's just always is a never-ending story in regards to boxing. You can't just please the people.
But is that enough? Hitchens himself seems unsure. "I think, honestly, those guys are evenly matched. They've got history with each other. They know each other," he said. "So I don't think it's going to be that different in the rematch. But with Tank's power, anything can happen." That's a shaky endorsement. And it brings up a critical question: has Tank reached a point where his power alone isn't enough to hide the flaws in his game?
That we're saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
If that wasn't enough to shake Davis, Eddie Hearn's recent comments might do the job. The Matchroom boxing boss suggested that Davis could be looking for a way out of the Roach rematch altogether. In a recent interview, Hearn dropped a bombshell, claiming that Davis might fight social media star Jake Paul in November. Instead of settling the score with Roach, he's fighting Jake Paul, isn't he? Hearn said,
"Me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure."
How real or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
"I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach in a rematch. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe Shocker Stevenson after that. For a fighter like Davis, this kind of talk is dangerous. It's one thing to chase a big payday, but it's another to flirt with the circus act that a fight with Jake Paul would be. It shows a lack of focus adrift from the pure competition that has defined his career so far, and it gives Roach every reason to believe his chances in the rematch are better than ever."
The hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him when I
like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lied to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit.
Roach, for his part, has stayed mostly quiet, letting the chaos swirl around Davis. It's a smart move, a calculated strategy from a fighter who understands the mental game. As much as the physical, he's already shown that he can handle Tank, that he can absorb Davis's best punches and keep moving forward. That kind of toughness can mentally break a fighter. And if Davis is already second-guessing himself, Roach is in a great spot to take advantage.
In that fight, a lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff, I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his career. So.
Even Ryan Garcia, a former Tank opponent, has waited, cautiously backing Davis to win the rematch. I got Tank, Garcia told East. I think he'll switch to a different gear. I think he thought it would be easier than it was in thought. Roach would fold in, he didn't. Now we should expect a harder fight. And I think he wins the rematch. That's a fair vote of confidence, but also a bit of a backhanded compliment.
When you're 1 foot out, you're going to get in the ring and you're going to have that moment where you know you got to step it up and it just won't come. But I think that's...
Garcia basically admitted that Tank underestimated Roach the first time, a mistake that nearly cost him his perfect record. And let's not forget Garcia is coming off his own loss, a knockout by Rolly Romero, another fighter Tank beat. It's not exactly a strong endorsement when your supporter is still recovering from his own defeat. Then there's Romero himself, who was knocked out by Davis in the 6th round but still picked Tank to win the rematch. I'd take Tank because I think Tank will make the right adjustments, Romero said in a recent interview.
Talking about like they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, that's how boxing works.
That's a common theme among Tank's supporters, the belief that he'll make the needed changes to avoid another close call. But that assumes his problems are just tactical, that a few tweaks in training will fix it all. It overlooks the mental part of the game, the creeping doubt that sets in when a fighter realizes he's not as unbeatable as he thought. For Davis, this rematch is more than revenge. It's about proving he's still the most dangerous man in the lightweight division, that his power and aggression are enough to beat even the toughest foes. But if his own team hints he's scared of losing, and his promoter talks about easier fights, then maybe, just maybe, the myth of Gervonta Davis is starting to crack.
Talking about they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, that's how boxing works. It's sad to say, that's how boxing works. I'm not like totally upset. I figured.
But the truth is, Lamont Roach has a real shot at shocking the world again in this rematch. And some of boxing's biggest names are already backing him. The current WBC World Lightweight Champion didn't hesitate when asked who he supports. For this second fight, I like Lamont in the rematch, he told Co-Artist Sports. That's not just an opinion. Sparring is where fighters reveal their true selves, where weaknesses get exposed. That never show under the bright lights. If this champion sees something in Roach, that alone should worry Davis.
I had something on the table. So people who think I'm taking this fight for money, that wasn't the thing. Because I actually had an offer that was higher than the Tank fight. Oh, for real? Yes. To defend my belt. So, for all the people who think I was, he doing it for a check. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to shut people up.
I mean, that's doing it for a check. We ain't doing it just for the check.
We ain't doing it just for the check. But trust me, because don't forget, this is business.
It's prize fight. Yeah.
It's prize fighting for a reason.
But it's not just current champs backing Roach. Roy Jones Jr., one of the smartest fighters in boxing history, also sees a possible upset. I think he shocks the world again, Jones told pro boxing fans. Jones is a man who knows all about adjustments, a former champion for weight classes who changed his style multiple times during his career. When he says Roach has a shot, it's worth paying attention. Still, even Jones hedged a bit, saying, But the only thing different this time is Tank will come with a different attitude, a different personality, different motivation. That's a heavy comment, hinting that Tank's worst enemy might be himself. A fighter who needs a new mindset going into a rematch is already halfway to losing.
He's not there to play around, he's trying to smoke you. That's what life's supposed to be about. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is the person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight, I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand me? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that until we get by Roach, because what I'm telling you about the other one.
Jones isn't the only legend raising concerns about Davis's mindset. Five-time world champion Claressa Shields, known for her blunt honesty, told Fight Hub TV she sees Tank's emotions as a weak spot. I think Lamont will be even better. In the rematch, she said, right now, I think Roach wins the rematch only because I think Tank needs to get his fear out the way. Shields doubled down, pointing to Davis's distractions outside the ring. Sometimes anger helps him. A fight you don't want to lose it, but you need to know how to use it. He's so frustrated with other things in his life that it's hard to focus inside the ring. So I think therapy would help. That's a bold statement, suggesting Davis's problems go beyond boxing technique.
What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw. I'm a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds.
Even Keyshawn Davis, one of boxing's rising stars, is already watching closely if he beats Tank. I would love to fight Lamont Roach next, Keyshawn told Fight Hype, if he beats Tank. There's only one fight that makes sense in the lightweight division, me versus Lamont. That's a direct challenge, the kind that builds real drama in a weight class packed with talent. But here's the key, Keyshawn is talking as if Roach actually could win, not as a long shot, but as a real possibility. That's a big shift. Not long ago, people would have laughed at the idea of Davis losing to Roach. Now it's a serious conversation, and that alone is a win for Roach's side.
If you go my honest opinion, I feel like me and Lamont Roach, stylistically, is the hottest fight in the weight division. Yeah. Lamont Roach stood right there with Gervonta, the hardest puncher in the division, right? Ooh. So put him up against me, I'm not going nowhere.
Y'all really gonna box, man.
We're gonna fight. I feel like stylistically, that's one of the best matchups in the division for sure.
It's gonna be a lot of rolling in that fight.
You know,
However, Keyshawn's challenge comes with its own risks. He's a big lightweight, the type who rehydrates into a much heavier fighter by the next day. That size difference would make a fight with Roach a real gamble for the smaller WBA champ. Keyshawn even hinted at this, saying, "For real, if you beat Tank, let's fight. Tank, if you win, let's fight, I don't care." But here's the unspoken truth: Roach would step into the ring against a guy who might be a junior middleweight by fight night. That would turn what should be a battle of skill into a physical mismatch. And that's a danger that could kill Roach's momentum just as he's finally breaking through.
Like, I just think Lamont was just better than what everybody was expecting him to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lamont can really fight. You know what I'm saying? And I've been saying that, but I also been saying that I thought Tank was gonna knock him out. You know what I'm saying? So he proved me wrong. That, like I said, he better than what we made him out to be. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think like Tank got exposed.
Lamont Roach has recently taken a commendable step, partnering with What's Up With Hate for a social media campaign promoting respect in the sport. In the campaign video, he stated, "Everyone knows that boxing is a brutal sport where competitiveness is key, but that doesn't mean we have to be enemies outside of the ring. It's a noble take. But let's be real, this is boxing, not a charity gala. Fans don't just tune in for technical skill or sportsmanship. They crave the bad blood, the animosity, the raw, unfiltered tension that makes every punch feel personal."
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
Roach's approach, while admirable, risks watering down the very thing that keeps the sport alive. Genuine rivalries. Sure, mutual respect sounds nice in theory, but it's not what sells tickets or drives pay-per-view buys. It's the grudges, the trash talk, and the personal stakes that turn an ordinary bout into an all-out war. Take the classic rival Rosali versus Frazier, Tyson versus Holyfield. Those weren't just battles of skill. They were wars of will, with both fighters believing the other stood in the way of their legacy. Meanwhile, the Haney camp seems to understand this dynamic perfectly.
Like the betting me that he gonna knock me out and stuff like that. That didn't go too well with him.
Did y'all bet?
Oh, we bet and we should.
You paid up?
He changed his
number.
Again, there's a high level of mutual respect for each other. Like I said, we done bumped into each other plenty of times. More than the average boxer would see another boxer outside of boxing. So it's cool. Like, he cool with me and I'm cool with him. If we were to see each other.
During an interview on the Cigar Talk podcast, Bill Haney, the father and head trainer of undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney, sent a direct message to Roach. Lamont, get to work now. Don't do too much talking. Listen, have pops. Come sit down and talk, because that's what we do. Devin going to work, and I'm going to talk. It's a sharp, deliberate jab, a public challenge to Roach's mindset and work ethic. It questions whether Roach has the same grind and hunger as the younger Haney. It's a clear attempt to get under Roach's skin and remind him that talk is a weapon in their camp.
You don't have enough experience. You really should have waited and took your time before you came to me, and that's what Gervonta Davis told him. And he was right. He was absolutely positively right. And so now here we are, him fighting this cat Roach, and I'm like, isn't this dude like junior lightweight?
Super featherweight, moving up to lightweight. Yeah.
No, there's no, see.
There's also the matter of Roach's own mindset. By aligning himself with a campaign to stop hate, he's essentially admitting that he's more concerned with his public image than building the kind of personal rivalry that fuels blockbuster rematches. That's a risky move in boxing. Respect only goes so far. At a certain point, fans want to see some bad blood. They want to believe the fighters genuinely dislike each other. If Roach sticks to this all-love approach, he risks looking like the passive, less hungry fighter, a dangerous perception when facing someone as explosive as Davis. Meanwhile, Davis's camp is doing its best to project confidence, but even they can't fully hide the cracks in the surface. The whispers about Davis's focus, his distractions outside the ring, and his mental readiness for this rematch are only growing louder. Shield's suggestion that Tank might need therapy is a direct shot at his pride, the kind of remark that can either motivate a fighter or totally unravel them. And with legends like Roy Jones Jr. openly admitting that Roach could shock the world again, the pressure is now on Davis to prove he's still the feared puncher of years past.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
As the date approaches, this rematch is turning into more than just a fight for a title. It's a test of character, a battle for respect, and a chance for one man to redefine his career while the other fights to keep his throne. The stakes are high, and the lines are clearly drawn for Davis. This is about proving he's still the dominant force and silencing all the doubters. For Roach, it's a shot at redemption, a chance to finish what he started and show the world that their first fight was no fluke, but the beginning of a new era for O.